Hey there, Monique here today, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some neurotransmitters. So, I'm going to give you the definitions behind these, as well as adding in a little bit of ways that we can naturally make these happen in our body, how we support them, and also I'll give you a few little essential oils and tips like that as well. If you have any questions about this, you can always follow up with email or ask me in the sessions. So I do have some notes, and I am just going to read out some of the information that I have for you, and we're just going to kind of touch base as we go through. So bear with me as we open up all this information. Neurotransmitters. So the definition behind the neurotransmitter is a chemical substance that's released at the end of the nerve fiber by the arrival of a nerve impulse and by diffusing across the synapse or junction, causes the transfer of the impulse to another nerve fiber, muscle fiber, or some other structure. So what this means in very simple terms is you have a substance, a chemical substance that comes from here and goes to here, and it releases through the body. This is done via the limbic system, through the emotional response in the brain. And again, I'm going to just give you some definitions about what dopamine is, what melatonin is, what serotonin is, some simple ways to remember what they do for you, some little puns, and I will follow up with how to help create your own, support that in your body, and then, of course, a couple little essential oils as well. So, dopamine definition is an important brain chemical that influences your mood, feelings of reward, and motivation. What this means is you've likely heard the sentence like, I need a dopamine hit or get a dopamine hit. And it's interesting, kind of funny for me that dope, like drugs, and the hit of dopamine actually mirror and kind of mimic the same response through the body. So, what that looks like is when I get my little hits of dopamine, I might get a rush of enhanced mood or escalated mood or elevated mood. Um, this helps regulate the body's movements. Levels are generally well regulated by the body, but every once in a while, if we have imbalances in something, we may need to create more dopamine. There's lots of medications that are available to help with dopamine. There's lots of natural ways to increase dopamine as well. And so I'm going to talk about those a little bit. So, dopamine specifically, again, is meant to escalate the mood, to induce happy emotions or elevated emotions, more on the positive end of the spectrum. So, if we look at our feelings wheel, we're going to look at like peaceful, powerful joy. Okay, so that bottom half of the feelings wheel is going to be what dopamine will induce in the body for you specifically. And what we want to do is try to create this in our body in a natural manner as often as possible. Even though the body does regulate it, again, you may need some help if you deal with chemical imbalances in the brain. Things like Parkinson's disease, information with that specifically is low levels of dopamine in the body. And so, if you know someone that suffers with Parkinson's, that has the tremors, things like that, you may notice that their mood is not escalated. It's not more in the happier version. They may have more de escalated attitudes, emotions, moods, things like that. So, notes say diet and lifestyle change obviously can aid in that. That I speak a lot to our thoughts create our reality. Obviously, we know that when we're in spaces where the brain and the body are disconnected and dopamine levels are low, this may be something that's a little more difficult to create on your own. So we don't want to downplay the severity of this or the So again, we don't necessarily want to downplay illnesses or diseases, like it's really simple to change this thing. We know that it's going to take some energy and effort, but I want to give you the natural side of it. If you're taking medication, obviously continue to do that. Speak with your doctors about what your other options are. I'm not offering any type of medical advice here. I am giving you ways to naturally contribute to your dopamine and ways to elevate that for you specifically. So the main things that I want to talk about with dopamine to help bring those levels up so that the brain and body can start to neutralize and be in homeostasis would be exercise is going to be really important. Moving your body, moving the physical body, the energy, the emotional body. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if it is vacuuming floors, if it is climbing the stairs at your home, if it is shoveling snow outside, whatever it is that you do, just commit 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. Just make a commitment and stick with that. Decide and do. If you need support here, please reach out, let me know, and I can help you put together something specifically designed for you. The next thing that dopamine is really going to need to be increased is going to be sleep. Okay. And we'll get into melatonin here in a few minutes with sleep. And you may need to work at both of these simultaneously to start increasing your levels. So sleep is going to be very important. The reasons is that we really want to get good quality sleep is that the brain actually refreshes during sleep. So during that 6 to 10 hours, depending on what your body needs, some people get 4, some people need 8. I'm in a good solid 7 nowadays. I used to need a lot more. That was because my energy, my mood was a little more in the depressed side. So now that I'm not in that depressed state of being as often, I do not require quite as much sleep. And I have noticed this very specifically, a big difference in that over the last year or so. So dopamine specifically, if we get good quality REM sleep, if we go into deep sleep, if we allow the brain to refresh and for the blood and everything to flow through, we know that cerebral spinal fluid, cranial sacral fluid runs through the body twice a day. So you get 2 full cycles in a day. Again, all of this stuff contributes to the amount of sleep you get, the way you sleep, the levels in the hormones that are released, the neurotransmitters that are released, all of that good stuff. So good quality sleep, exercise, those are the top 2 things that are recommended. The next thing is going to be meditation. And meditation can be anything from a 3 to 5 minute quiet, silent meditation where you literally just breathe, do some box breathing, using your mantra, using I am here now, I am safe here, I allow, whatever your mantra is that you personally created with my program, you would use this here. You could set your timer for 3 to 5 minutes, or you can take one of the ones that I've sent you. I have a variety email of fantastic meditations, everything from Joe Dispenza to Wayne Dyer. So if you need something specifically, let me know. We will find one that is recommended for you and where you are at in your specific journey, and you will commit to doing this every day. Another really great way to raise dopamine levels is music. We know that our senses are extremely important, and that if we use them accordingly, we can help aid where we are going in life. So, for instance, if you need to calm yourself down, you may want to listen to musics that have a certain frequency or hertz. If you're looking for anything specific with music information, again, let me know. I have a variety of that in my library. I can send you something very specific in your binaural beats, in your meditation series, or in just elevated mood music. So I have a variety there. We know that certain pitches, certain sounds, certain tones in music will create distraction in our brain, and certain ones will actually calm it and aid the nervous system. So again, specifically, if you are working with me, let's discuss this. Let's find one that's going to be great for you that you can access on your own whenever you need, and that you have that available at any time. With dopamine, what I'm going to recommend oil-wise is patchouli. Hopefully that focuses in on the camera. So I do doTERRA, that's my favorite. There are several brands out there. You pick what's best for you with your specific lifestyle and what you're doing. I prefer doTERRA because it's what I use and it's what I sell. But there, like I said, there's many brands out there. Patchouli specifically is going to help with the olfactory senses and giving you a dopamine hit in the brain. Other ones that are going to be really good for this are going to be any of your self-loving oils. So like your bergamot or your ylang ylang, your rose, any of those that are going to feel that heart rush whenever you inhale them are also going to be great for dopamine hits. So I'll move on now to my next one, and I'm going to talk about serotonin. And the way that we remember serotonin is, this is my little pun for the day, Sarah wakes you up, Mel puts you to sleep. So melatonin, quiet, go to sleep. Sarah wakes you up. So serotonin is defined as the key hormone that stabilizes our mood feelings of well-being and happiness. The hormone impacts your body. It enables the brain cells and other nervous system cells to communicate with each other. So serotonin enables the nervous system cells and the brain cells to have conversation. So if it is lacking, your nervous system may be responding in a way that doesn't feel safe or good for you. Specifically with serotonin, what kicks that in is going to be your bright light. Okay. So imagine when you wake up first thing in the morning and it's kind of dark and you're like, I don't really want to get out of bed. Well, serotonin, if you turn on the light, will kick in really fast and wake you up. Not everybody likes to be woken up that way. So I understand that, but this is just what I'm teaching. So I just wanted to share that information with you. So, same things, any foods that typically add in amino acids or that have high amino acids in them are going to be excellent for your serotonin, as well as melatonin. And so we want to remember that exercise, bright lights, supplement, mood induction, and massage are going to be the main ones that help elevate serotonin. And so again, what that looks like is moving my body, exercise, right? Circulating the blood, moving around, physical massage, manipulation of the tissue. Okay. I have rollers that I use on myself pretty much on a daily basis, mainly just to stretch out the tissue of my body. Now, when I do that, I'm circulating the blood, I'm moving the energy in my body. I am actually creating serotonin, dopamine, and melatonin all in my body at the same time by physically massaging the tissue of my body. Okay. Now, I know that we can't all go get massages every day of the week, but if you have a roller, if you have a rolling pin, if you have a foam roller, if you have something you can use like that at home, again, create a 3 to 5 minute routine. I will help you do this. I will help you get it set up. I will help you get it into your calendar, and you will hold yourself accountable. You will be responsible for doing this. But I will help aid you in that space if you need. So please reach out. Do not hesitate there. Anything that's going to elevate the mood, anything that's going to induce the mood, anything that is going to bring in joy, pleasure, fun, that is all going to escalate, elevate, uplift, pick up your serotonin levels. Serotonin, specifically with oils, my favorite one is lavender. I know that people think lavender is meant to relax you and put you to sleep and all that good stuff. And to a point it is, but it is also designed to bring you in, keep you inside, take care of yourself, to love yourself. And again, anything that activates the olfactory senses, kicks in the smell, goes straight to the brain, gives you that hit automatically. And so at that point, what I want you to do is smell this, let it go to your brain, enjoy it, allow it, embody it, let the serotonin level be escalated. Okay, again, lavender. And lavender with doTERRA can be taken internally, externally. You can put it on like the thyroid, you can put it on the nose, you can put it on the skin, you can smell it, you can take it internally, whatever you want to do. Lavender is phenomenal. It is one of my favorites. Okay, so we talked about dopamine, we talked about serotonin. And now I'm going to finish up with melatonin. I'm trying to keep this at a certain time frame for you guys so that it's not really long. Okay, and so here's the second one again. Melatonin. Mel puts you to bed. Mel puts you to sleep, right? Mel lays you down. So melatonin, by definition, is the hormone made by the pineal gland. It's a pea-sized gland found just above the middle of your brain, and it helps your body know when it's time to sleep and wake up. Normally, your body makes plenty of melatonin on its own. Once the sun sets. Sorry, I had to mute people. Let's see. So melatonin, when the sun goes down, it starts to automatically kick on. Okay, so just like serotonin, when the lights come on, when the sun comes up, the brain flips the switch and it starts to increase the serotonin levels. It's going to be the same in the evening with melatonin. And so in the evening, when the sun goes down, when the lights go off, when it starts to get darker, the brain will transfer and the neurotransmitters for the melatonin will switch on. Now, melatonin specifically, we want to do very certain foods that allow extra melatonin to be produced in the body, to allow melatonin to be created in the body. Those are going to be things like tomatoes, your nuts and seeds, your tart cherries, sweet potatoes. Olives are really good for that. So any of those food groups are going to aid in allowing extra melatonin. There's lots of melatonin supplements. There are lots of melatonin gummies. Like there's all kinds of things about melatonin on the market. And those are great. Those are amazing. Are they necessary? You get to choose, right? And I'm going to give you a little information on placebo here in a minute, and you get to choose what you want to use. So for melatonin specifically, what do I need to create melatonin to allow melatonin to do what it's supposed to do, and then also to use it in my favor to go to bed. So it's late, it's dark, it's nighttime, I can't fall asleep. Here we go again. You can always kick in the music. You can always kick in the binaural beats, the higher frequency music, the God frequency music, any of that stuff that you have access to. If you do not have access to that, let me know. I will send you the Amazon link for it. I have it all in my phone for you. But any of those are going to escalate melatonin production. Turn off the lights, get a sleep mask, anything that's going to take all of the light out of your face, calm the nervous system and decompress where you are is going to feed your melatonin. My favorite oil for melatonin production is cedarwood. Now, cedarwood you cannot take internally because it is a wood. You don't eat trees, but you can have all the fruit that you want. Kind of a joke that we have in doTERRA. But the cedarwood specifically is going to be really excellent for calming the nervous system, helping you fall asleep, helping you stay asleep. So a drop on the big toe is really all that you need to help relax. So dietary, mainly in melatonin and cedarwood, is going to be excellent for that. Serotonin, you're going to want exercise, moving the tissue of your body, adding the lights, anything that's going to make your mood feel better, anything that's going to make you smile, okay? Dopamine is going to need exercise, excellent sleep, meditation, music. That one is going to be more to just kind of control the brain and the mood. I'm going to talk a little bit more right now about placebo and what happened whenever people were given medication to work with any of these neurotransmitters. So there was a study done, and basically 81% of the people taking the placebo got the same results as those taking the meds. This is because our brain actually creates its own pharmacy. And so if you take the information that I gave you today and you start to apply it on a daily basis, I would say pick one. and start with it, right? And just create a routine around that. We don't want to go crazy and try to jump off the house and do all of this change at one time. That's what makes things really difficult whenever we decide that we're just going to change all at one time. For me, anyways, it was too much, too fast. All at once. And so if we take baby steps, if we take a little bit each day and we just add to it, right? If you take the timer and you set it for 3 to 5 minutes and you just do your meditation, right? And you just try to induce dopamine levels. And then you do 10 minutes of binaural beats at night and you try to create some melatonin. And then in the morning, then when you wake up, you do 5 minutes of exercise or rolling the tissue of your body or just doing a downward dog, stretching the spinal fluid around, just stretching the body out and creating some space in the body, you're going to induce serotonin, right? And so these are really simple ways that you could take 5, 10, 15 minutes total and just start like that and then build on it and build on it and see how it works for you. This may or may not be good for you. This may or may not benefit you. I don't know. But what I do know is if you believe that it's available, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to commit to the 5 minutes in the morning, commit to the 5 minutes in the evening, commit to the 5 minutes, for each step, you will likely see some type of result. Okay. If you don't, reach out. Let's get coaching on this. Let's talk about it. But what I want you to do is make a conscious effort to start working on the imbalance that we have going on in our body. And I'm saying this because your life is important and it's fun and it should be exciting and you should enjoy it. And whenever we feel disconnected, especially with hormonal imbalances or lack of these neurotransmitters in the body, I'm very familiar with depression and what that does to the body and what that does to the brain and how that feels. I'm very familiar with Parkinson's disease and other diseases where dopamine, lack of dopamine adds to physical issues and physiological issues that are going on in the body as well. And so I don't want to make light of any of this stuff. It's very serious. And I want to offer this as support for you. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you want to go any further with this, please reach out. Please let me know and we'll go from there. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this up, but I want you to understand that the brain and the body does create its own pharmacy. It does have its own divine intelligence that does all of this fantastic, amazing things specific for your body. And so I want you to trust that your body knows what to do. I want you to start understanding that if I feel sad, nothing's wrong with me. If I need to rest, nothing's wrong with me. If I have a hard time sleeping, nothing is wrong with me. I just have a hard time sleeping. And that thought, when we put it on a think, feel cycle, will continue to create those results. And that will continue to be my truth. So what I want you to do is remember that your thoughts become your reality. And what I mean by that is when we think the thought, our limbic brain feels the feeling, flushes the emotional response through the body, adrenaline, emotional, hormonal response through the physical body comes through. Then we take action from that feeling, from that emotional response, and we get an end result. We get an end result. We get what happens, right? And so our thoughts truly become our reality. So in saying that, what I really want to talk to is stop thinking something's wrong with you because you're tired. Stop thinking something's wrong with you because you feel bad. Stop thinking something's wrong with you because you have confusion in the body or the brain or you're in a mood. It's a mood, it's a state of being. All states of being can change at any point in time whenever we choose to change our thoughts and our feelings about the circumstance. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up right now. as I don't want it to be very long. I hope you understood everything that I said. Let me know if you have any questions, reach out to me, and have a great day.